So it's the week before Christmas 2021, and I'm talking to a client of mine about leads. They're in the Windows business, they replace Windows and things of that nature. And we're talking about Facebook leads and lead quality. And I asked the question, how's the lead quality? Because I'm always concerned about lead quality because it has an impact on the business, both in terms of time resources and financial resources. And they come back to me and they say, we're actually quoting a job for $50,000 worth of Windows. And I'm like, that's fantastic. People are always saying to me that Facebook leads are rubbish. That is just terribly untrue. I've been running Facebook leads for different types of construction companies and contractors for the best part of 8 years now. And the lead quality is crap if you do not know how to set up your targeting right, have the right ad, and have the right strategy in place. And when I'm running ads for different contractors and construction companies, I'm running a ton of different strategies and different types of ads and different objectives. But what I want to do in this video is break down really quickly how you can get started with Facebook ads using the exact same strategy that generated that $50,000 window lead. It's really simple. I'm going to go through everything step by step. I'm going to go through the targeting, the different strategies around targeting, ad creatives, and everything that encompasses that exact strategy. So with all that being said, let's jump over to my computer and we'll get started. So here we are, guys, getting ready to set up everything in Facebook to emulate this exact strategy. First and foremost, please smash that subscribe button if you like content just like this. Smash that like button or smash the dislike button if you don't like this content. All that kind of interaction helps the YouTube algorithm and gives me the motivation to produce more videos just like this. So with that being said, let's have a look on how to do this. So what you want to do first is jump into the Facebook Ads Manager, and it'll look very much just like this. This is just a test account for me to use in videos just like this. And the strategy that we're going to use is going to be on the premise of a couple of different targeting options. We're going to use interests. We're going to use lookalike audiences. Now, if you're not familiar with lookalike audiences, don't worry. They're very simple to set up. What you do is you grab a lead list. Now, you can't do this terribly well if you're just starting out in, doesn't matter what industry, but you need a list of prospects or leads that you've interacted with in the past. Ideally, this would be closed deals. Now, if you're in the Windows business or a general contractor or in the construction industry, in no matter what way, what you would do is if you were a contractor and you offered bathrooms and kitchens and windows and whatnot, you'd have your bathroom leads, you'd have your kitchen leads, and you'd have your Windows leads, all in the different spreadsheets. Because what you want to do is you want to tell Facebook, don't model everyone, just model each individual customer list, because the lookalike audience is you providing information in the ways of prospect information or lead information or closed deal information. This is first name, last name, cell phone or mobile phone number, address, so on and so forth. And what Facebook does is analyzes the demographics, just the psychographics and the behaviors of those people, and then goes out into the Facebook kind of metasphere, as if that's what they want us to call it now. And it finds all the people just like those people that you told Facebook to look for. Now, if it's leads, it's pretty good quality. You'll do very well. If it's closed deals, you'll do far better, because Facebook's going to model on the people that have given you money in the past. So you can see how the modeling and the matching can be a great deal better. Now, to quickly set up these custom audiences and Facebook audiences, we just come up to the navigation button just up here. We come down to audiences and we go through the process of creating a custom audience. We're going to say customer list. And what we're going to do is click next. And you can have yes or no here, but most people will be saying no, that there is no customer value associated. If you are importing CRM details, you can use this field. And you just go through the prompts here on how to set up, to complete the setup of this custom audience. Once you've completed the custom audience, I'm not going to do it now, is you get the option to create a lookalike audience. You can go through that exact same process. And if you haven't done it here, if you don't do it when it prompts you to do so, you can do it this way. And what you do is you just find some existing data and we can just say this. And what we'll do here is we'll select the location and we'll just say Australia for the sake of this video. And once we're done here, what we want to do in this section is create a number of different lookalike audiences. We want a 1%, a 2%, and a 3%. for the sake of the targeting in this video. I'm not going to create this audience so much. So when it comes to the number of leads or closed deals that you want a couple of hundred at the very minimum, like 200 to 300. Ideally, you want 400 plus, in my opinion. So if you don't have that number, merge leads and closed deals, but remember to keep them segmented. That the kitchen leads and closed deals are in one custom audience, and they have their own set of lookalike audiences. And also that goes the same for roofs if you're into roofing, and the same for windows if you're into windows. Once you have those audiences set up, you want to come back to the ads manager, and we want to create a campaign. For this style, and there's many different types of objectives here. We've got traffic, engagement, lead gen, video views, conversions, etc. The most I'm using for contractors and construction guys is traffic, engagement, video views, lead gen, conversions. But most of the time, it's either lead gen or conversions, to be honest. For the sake of this strategy, and what worked to get this $50,000 window deal was lead generation. So what we're going to do here is click lead generation, click continue. So first and foremost, we're going to name the campaign. I like to say it's windows. That's the theme of the ads I'm going to be creating. This is audience testing. So there's a strategy around audience testing, and then I'll talk about that in just a moment. And it's also lead gen, gives me the objective. As I scroll down, there's nothing too much that I want to do here, but I do want to make sure that campaign budget optimization is turned off, because what campaign budget optimization will do is the different ad sets that we're about to create, or the different audiences that we're going to create. We don't want Facebook to allocate the budget where they think they will, on which audience will do best. That will come later, but in this initial stage, because we're testing, I want to be testing just $5 a day on per audience that I create, to ensure that the audience is good. Now, once the audiences have gone through the performance stage, I then evaluate the performance did well, the performance didn't do well. The audience did do well, or the audience didn't do well. It performed well, or didn't perform well. If it did perform well, it goes into an ad set where there's a combination of different audiences. But at the initial stage, I'm testing one ad set and one audience per time. So we click next on the last window, and we come to now the ad set overview. Now I'm just going to use my own Facebook page because this is just a test and this won't run. And we're going to use instant forms. You can use automated chat and you can use calls. I strictly stick with construction and contractors with instant forms. Calls can be a bit tricky being answered for some style and some size of businesses. Larger, it's generally easier because they have dedicated people to answer the phone calls and stuff. Then you can work on scripts. There's some really cool stuff around scripts about who answers the first initial point of contact with the prospect, how do they communicate to that person, and the different things that you can do to increase the likelihood of getting the deal with that person. But potentially that's a video for another day. If you're interested in that style of video, please let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section. But we're going to stick with the instant forms. I would name this around the audience style, the theme of the campaign and the objective. So I've got this named lookalike 1% because I'm going to be testing a 1% lookalike audience. It's windows, it's lead gen, and ABO is the opposite to campaign budget optimization. It's ad set budget. So what we want to do is scroll down. We don't want to mess around with optimization and delivery at this stage. Rarely do I play around with that anyway. At the budget, I don't recommend going lower than $5 per day. Ideally, somewhere around $10 and $20 per day. It allows the test to substantiate itself far more quickly. So if you're testing 5 different audiences, maybe $10 a day or $20 a day, you're going to be spending around about $50 to $100 per day. And so it's not too bad. $100 per day is around about $3,000 per month. It's not a large amount of money in the essence of the value that it will bring back. So for that amount of spend, you're going to get a pretty decent amount of leads, which will a couple of closed deals more than pays for that $3,000. So it's pretty simple to test at that $10 to $20 a day mark, in my opinion. We don't need to be changing the start dates or anything of that nature. When it comes down to audience, custom audiences, we want to select here, and we would select the lookalike audiences that we've just created, and we'd select the 1% lookalike audience. So when it comes down to here, you have lookalike 1%, then you have 1% to 2%, and then 2% to 3%. You want the 1% lookalike audience. The 1% lookalike audience is the most targeted and the best modeled and matching audience to the customer information that you put in when you created the custom audience. So really important to test these individually, and then you can stack them together once you have the data to suggest whether they're doing well or not doing well. Clicking on locations now, we want to make sure that people living in, if you're a contractor in the construction business, rarely are you interacting with people that don't have, that aren't living in the geographical area that you serve. So it's very important that you change that selection. Facebook do some pretty sneaky stuff to try and get you to spend a bit more money. In terms of locations here though, what we want to do is just put in any kind of location that you would like. So you can just type in Sydney, Australia. I'm not in Sydney, but I'm close to it. And what you can do here is just change the radius. So we can just change it to 5 miles if you have a small scope. And then you can just zoom in, check the outskirts. Do I fit in with this? You can also put in zip codes as well. So this will target a specific area just within the Sydney area. So there's many different types of geographical targeting. Generally, I like to stick with the radius targeting. It may seem lazy, but there are some benefits to it. It's not lazy in the sense of it gives you a little bit of a wider scope, even though it's radius, so it doesn't look as targeted. But you got to remember that the IP address and geographical targeting from Facebook is not 100% perfect. So if you're hitting zip codes and stuff, Facebook can mess it up a little bit. So I always find the performance is a little bit better with radius. It's also easier, which is nice. But there's also there's better benefits. If you don't want to do that and you really want to target really wealthy zip codes, do it that way. I do that for some clients, and it works wonderfully well. They do much on the work on the higher end, so targeting the wealthy areas of LA and other big cities. It can work wonderfully well. You're getting those high ticket clients, but it's up to the context of the business of where you're at. So coming down here, you don't have to change too much because it's all based upon a lookalike audience. So it's based upon the data that you fed Facebook. So there's not too much that you have to change here. Just want to make sure that detailed targeting expansion is turned off at this stage. And we don't need to be setting any interests. We don't need to be changing genders. You don't really need to change ages. I don't change them, but you can if you want to work with people, that predominantly have a bit more money, which is typically the 25, 27, 30-year-old plus. But Facebook's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting already with the data that you fed in, with the work that you did creating the custom audiences and the lookalike audiences. You can change languages, so that I do work with some clients that speak a second language and they want to deal more with those people. So you can target people if they speak Hindi, Mandarin, Spanish, etc. So it's a way to, if you do speak one of those languages, it's a way to further get to that crowd better, and you can write ads that fit that language, and that will appeal to those people, because people who speak those languages like to deal with people who speak those languages. Just one of those affinity kind of psychological traits that we have as humans. Scrolling down, leave it on automatic placements. We do not want to be messing around with the placements at this stage. So here we are at the ad creation level. Now this is where people can get overcomplicated. Now, when it comes to the ad creatives, simple works really well. Now you want a great offer. First and foremost, it has to be a great perceived offer. Things that can work really well, buy one, get one free, a percentage off, free demolition. There's a ton of offers that work really well in relation to what's going to work with contractors and construction. People offer free underfloor heating for bathrooms, etc. like that. Free wrought iron gates. I mean, there's just a whole plethora of different things that can work really, really well. I do have advice, and the advice is be as bold as you can. You can build it into the price of the quote and the proposal that you do later on for the lead. But at this stage, it's about creating the perception that the person is getting an incredibly good deal. Now, do I have any more specific advice on that? No, because I don't know who's going to watch the video. But there's a ton of different offers that work really well depending upon the industry you're in and the people that you're serving within that industry. So scrolling down, you can name your ad. Select your Facebook page is already preset because we've done that at the early stage. Select your Instagram page. We want to create an ad. I recommend going for single images for the most part with contractors. Construction, it can be a little bit different. New homes, if it's commercial, it can be a little bit different again. but stick with images. People get into the world of video and they don't know what they're doing. Video is its own little beast, and you don't have to. The irony is, I'm saying don't use it, but if you do use it, you don't have to spend a lot of money. I've seen clients with clear direction and rules and scripts written shoot incredibly, like, just ridiculously well-performing videos with a selfie stick. Now, it's awkward and people don't want to do it, and you don't have to do it with a selfie stick. There's many different other ways to do it and things like that. But you need a strategy around your video. If you don't know what you're saying early on, you don't know how to say it, you don't know the visuals to show, videos suck. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Hence why I say stick with static ads. They're pretty quick and easy to set up, and you can get going really quickly. Video's not too hard to get set up and get going, but there is that barrier that you need to shoot a video, you need to get edited, and if you don't know what you're doing, what you're saying, how to say it, when to say it, etc., you mess it all up. So stick to images. So with the basic images, most contractors are in some kind of transformation, so they can go before and afters. I urge you to do that. You can combine testimonials and things like that in there. So you can just have the left side as the before, the right side as the after. Make it very obvious which one is which. And then in the ad copy text, you can have a testimonial from that client. So it's in relation to, if you do have the after image, in my opinion, it can be nice at times to be in it yourself, as if you're the owner of the business or the face of the business. Have the logo on your shirt. It just looks less photoshopped. So there's a higher sense of believability. Just a little trick that I've learned over the decade of working with contractors and construction guys is that people are aware of Photoshop and stock photography. So if you're in it, it just looks a little bit neater. Or you can have your own sign in there. So a lot of contractors will have like a little sign that they're doing some work on the property. There's a lot of different ways to add that element of visual proof, but I think it's really important that you do that if you can. So just coming down, you come here and you select your image. Before and afters work really well. You can have the offer in it. So if it's before and after, so if it's a buy one window, get one window free, or if it's free demolition, you can have that text in there as well. It gives a bit more punch and a bit more attention, grabbing power to your image. Here you can run with really just testimonials. You can run straight bold offers like New Year's offer, because we're coming into the new year now. New Year's offer, buy one window, get one free. Depending upon the style of windows that you do. And so you can talk about the insulation properties, the noise, the noise protection properties, etc., etc. So there's many things that you can talk about in that. Have a clear call to action. What do you want them to do? With the lead gen ads, it's very obvious. Headline, bold offer. What market are you serving? What's the offer? Windows, buy one, get one free, etc. Kitchens, kitchen remodeling, get free demolition. Bathroom, free underfloor heating, etc. With the description, I don't really fill this out all too often. I think shorter and sweeter in some sense. Here I could, up in the primary text, I have ads that have over 200-300 words in them. So I'm not saying shorter for the sake of being short is best, but I don't really fill out the description. I change the call to action. So like get offer is normally the one that I use for construction and contracting. And then we create the instant form. The instant form is not too hard. You want to name it though. So we just name the form Windows, buy one, get one free, new year, just something that you know what the form is, because you might want to tie this into a CRM. So if you're using something like Salesforce, you're using something like Go High Level, there's a ton of different CRMs. You can use Zapier to connect to a whole bunch of CRMs. I do that a lot as well. So clients don't have to log into Facebook. They get a straight email address. They can get an SMS to their phone and stuff, so you can interact really, really quickly with those people, because speed kills in the good way. Speed gets you better likelihoods of closing the deal. Click hire intent. You can upload the same image or upload an image. Create a headline here. So this is just about the headline in order to tell the person that they're filling in the form to become a lead for whatever service that you offer. A little bit of paragraph text about what they're doing. Some questions. So with this section here, I don't like the fact that they have full name and email. That just bothers me. It's just a little personal kind of thing. But normally full name, email, phone number. You can add some other kind of questions. So what you can do here is, I'd like to add one here. So here you can say how many windows, you can say budget stuff, depending upon what industry you're in, there's a whole bunch of different style of questions you can ask here. But this one here, it's because it's manual. So in my other videos, I talk about reducing the number of steps, but this one, I'm trying to get higher quality leads. So in this sense, I'm trying to ask a question that helps me know that the person is loosely qualified. They've put in a little bit of effort. They've answered a question that pre-qualifies them. So whatever that question is for you, it's that's what you want to put in here. Then you just put in the privacy page here. Your review screen just pops up just here, completion. And here, what I like to set the expectation. So the lead's filled out. Do you contact the person within an hour? Do you contact them within 2 hours, 24 hours, etc.? Who's going to be calling them? It's going to be Johnny. It's going to be Sarah, etc. They've got 14 years of remodeling bathrooms in the Sydney area. They're going to call you and talk about your project, etc. That's what you want to be setting up. Ideally, use the face of the business here. That's if the face of the business is interacting as the first point of contact with leads. But this is what generates leads for clients. This is one of the strategies, and it's not always a strategy that I use, but it's one of the important ones. Especially if someone doesn't have a very good website. You don't need a website per se to run this style of campaign. Other things that I do as well is retargeting is really important, ultra important. I use the conversion objective back at the start, so I do that. I create dedicated landing pages. It bumps up the performance. You can get a slightly higher again quality of lead, which is fantastic. But wrapping up the video, if you want to get better leads, more leads at a lower cost with Facebook, feel free to hit me up. All you have to do is go to brenhamel.com, scroll down, smash this button, fill out the form, and you and I can schedule a quick phone call or Zoom call, Google Hangout. We can have a just really quick chat about not necessarily working together, but what have you got in place? I'll go through and share everything that's working with my clients right now with you. You can implement it yourself and we never talk again, or we can work together. I've had hundreds of phone calls where I've never worked with the person or heard from them again, and I've had many phone calls where I've worked with people for the best part of a decade. So if you want to move your business along, have a great 2022, feel free to do this. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, smash the like button, and thank you for watching. I hope it's helpful. Hope you have some cracking lead generation campaigns through 2022, and I'll see you guys in the next video.